This week's Torah portion, we are headed back to Morocco to Rabbi Yaakov Abuhatzera, the Abir Yaakov. How can we go back to him? Rabbi Yaakov is one of these giants, wrote so much, such depth, you can't not go back to the stuff he's written. We're going to focus on his book, Pituchei Chotam, Commentary on the Bible. Rabbi Yaakov is going to teach us an important lesson when we come to read the parasha. When we come to read the parasha, some parashas, many parashas, all parashas are complex. You want to understand the parasha? Focus on the title, focus on the first verse. It has hidden within it everything you need. Let's read. So what happens in this Torah portion? God comes to Moses, says we're going to take out the Israelites. We go to Pharaoh, and we know what happens. At the beginning, by the way, Hashem says to Moses, you should know I'm coming to you with a name that I didn't use with the forefathers. We're going to try and understand what's this whole business with God's names and how it's applicable to what's happening in Egypt. Let's read the first verse. וידבר אלוקים אל משה ויאמר אליו אני השם. Elokim, one aspect of God, comes to Moses and says to him, I am Hashem. So the verse starts with Elokim and ends with I am Hashem. What's going on here? Rabbi Yaakov teaches us an important lesson. There are two aspects to God. Fierce judgment and endless mercy. Right? Rachamim and Din, or Din and Rachamim. Elokim, the name Elokim, when we see it in the Bible, symbolizes fierce judgment. You did something wrong, you need to get punished. When we see the name Hashem, Yud-Kei Vav-Kei, it implies mercy, God's forgiveness. When we read here, there is a hint, Rabbi Yaakov teaches, when we read here that the verse starts with Vaydaber Elokim, it means that until this point, fierce judgment was what was ruling. That was the aspect ruling in God, and this is why we were enslaved, this is why we're in Egypt. But that's only the start of the verse. The verse ends with Ani Hashem. It's now become, but now I'm mercy. A hint, now it's time for me to take the Israelites out of Egypt because there is forgiveness. He then brings early Kabbalists, Rishonim, that through different Gimatriot, right? Every Kabbalist has a PhD in Gimatria. Gimatria is taking different letters and words, understanding the similarity in the numerical value, and through the similarity you can understand meaning. One of the ways in which, or without which, we cannot fully understand the Bible, at least Kabbalistically. In any event, these early Kabbalists teach us that Ani Hashem, I, Hashem, in various complex Gimatrias, is equal to Elokim. Is equal to, meaning Ani Hashem, I am mercy, is equal to judgment. Plus 1 though. There's an extra 1 when you play with these, or an extra 10. This extra 1 implies that God now is coming back to his original mercy, to his endless mercy. That is why Ani Hashem equals 1 plus of Elokim in various different Gimatrias, not just as is, to imply that we are going back now to what we were before the era of Elokim, before Din, before judgment, back to mercy. Rabbi Yaakov Abuhatzera, of course, has to stick in a bit of Musar. He always does this. It's not enough to explain the meaning. We need to also understand how we can use it in our lives. He says, learn from this, that through good action, Gemilut Chasadim, Tzedakah, doing good things, Maasim Tovim, each and every one of us can change the aspect of God, which is Elokim Din, when bad things happen, to Ani Hashem, to mercy for good things through Maasim Tovim. Action, our action, good action, can change the aspect that God is using to rule the world. He concludes by saying, this is perhaps why we have 4 cups on Passover. The 4 cups are symbolizing the 4 letters of Ani Hashem, the 4 letters of the name of God, the 4-letter word, which symbolizes mercy, because this is what God took us out of Egypt. Thoughts on this giant, Rabbi Yaakov Abuhatzera, Parashat Va'era. Shabbat Shalom.